Since the first release of Android in 2008, I thought it had matured enough after 14 years that it would just be a minor improvement with every new version of Android. But no man, I was wrong. Android 12 is a complete redesign with very minimal and pleasing user interface. These new quick settings might be one of the most significant changes in many years. You pull down from the top and you got this huge toggle separated from the notification area. And I think it looks fantastic. Again, when you pull down the tiles, you get this huge brightness slider on top. You can also see the customization options down here. Even the volume panel is huge and easy to touch. There's new theming option in the Pixel experience, which is also sweet. You can choose whatever wallpaper you want and the system will automatically pick an accent color from the wallpaper and spread it all over the user interface, along with the app icons. These icons are not my favorite, by the way, and I stick with my default icon packs, but you can choose one if you like. You can go to the settings page, and if you go there you find a familiar interface but with a shade of accent color behind. Now if you go to the default apps like Dialer, Messages and Chrome, you don't see many changes here. And since this is a Pixel experience plus ROM, we have access to the Gcam, which I will talk later in the video. Overall, I find the new redesign of Pixel experience to be very pleasing. The big touch targets and accented UI gives it a very bold look. I know some of you do not like this redesign, but it is a personal preference. Now, performance might not be a big differentiating factor while choosing MIUI or Pixel experience because the underlying 732G remains the same. If you run benchmarking tools, you might find some differences on paper, but overall, you will find the same powerful performance with no hiccups or lags. Gaming is also very smooth, I must say. I did find some drop frames here and there while playing Genshin Impact, which is already a very graphically intensive game, but not so much to worry about. The game is perfectly playable. If you are a heavy multitasker, you will find no reloads even if you keep the game minimized in the background. I personally keep Spotify, Google Keep, YouTube and Chrome in the background, and I haven't seen any of those apps reload in most of my use case. So overall, the performance is good for the price and you shouldn't worry about the performance in this ROM for light to heavy uses. Which takes us to another segment of our video, which is camera. Since the Redmi Note 10 Pro has 108 megapixel camera and with the Gcam installed, I know you guys are really excited to know about the results, but I have some bad news and some good news for you. Let's jump in the bad news first. See, despite having 108 megapixel camera, the Gcam doesn't shoot in 108 megapixels and I couldn't find any toggle to activate it in the settings. So yeah, that's a bummer. But the good news is this Gcam shoots amazing shots in the bright daylight and also gives us pleasing results in the low light. During enough bright daylight, the photos turns out to be pleasing with decent dynamic range and contrast. The colors are a bit more contrasty than my liking, but it preserves the highlight and maintains proper exposure. Also, when the lights start to get dimmer, the camera holds up preserving the details in the shot. There is some level of noise, but nothing sort of unusable. The selfie can be said okayish. I did not find the selfie to be great during low light, but during daytime, it is just usable. The dynamic range is not so great and the images are a little bit on the sharper side. On the video front too, the camera performs well. The stabilization on the Gcam works good. The dynamic range is not so great, but the colors look fine. Overall, the video is just fine in the Gcam mode. There are some tiny features in this ROM that makes this overall experience really smooth. Or you can say it a premium feeling. First, this is a Pixel experience ROM, and how can we forget about the unlimited backup feature in the Google Photos? Yes, you can back up unlimited photos and videos in its original quality. I am truly in love with this exclusive feature of this ROM. I shoot a lot of raw videos of very heavy size. It is a breeze to simply upload it to the cloud free of cost. Another feature that I like about this ROM is while swiping between the recent apps, you get a subtle haptic feedback that is not that strong, but it gives this overall experience a really premium feel. Third, there is a quick tap feature in this ROM to launch certain action or app on the phone. I personally have set it up to launch Google Assistant because it is really handy. You just simply double tap on the back of your phone and the feature activates itself. Really great, right? Pixel Experience ROM is never known for great battery life, and the same can be said about this Plus version 2. While using the MIUI on this device, my battery backup was really great and I had no issues using the phone for a whole day, ending up with almost 30% juice left in the tank. It gave me around 7 hours of screen on time. But with the Pixel Experience Plus ROM installed on my Redmi Note 10 Pro, sometimes I have to keep looking for the charger before the bedtime. I don't mean this battery is bad by any means. If I'm not using this device heavily, I can easily pass the whole day with around 5 hours of screen on time. But remember, if you travel a lot like me, game a lot or even shoot videos all day long, this ROM is probably not for you because I feel the battery drain to be very fast. Of course, if you use a power bank, unlike me, you are good to go. Now let's talk about some downsides of using the Pixel Experience Plus ROM on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. During my usage of this ROM, there was some occasional freezing of the phone. The screen suddenly gets unresponsive and turns off itself. I know it is a common bug and we can expect that in a custom ROM, however, it's worth a mention. Another bug that I found in this ROM is while using the Gcam. See, by default, you get to choose the wide angle or the regular lens. But if you press the wide angle lens, the camera never gets the focus correct. I mean, it doesn't focus at all. It just keeps the blurry background with no subject in focus. Yeah, that's a weird one. Apart from the camera and the occasional unresponsiveness, there were nothing much to complain about here. The developers did a really good job to make sure that this ROM works like a charm in a Redmi Note 10 Pro. I'm in love with this ROM and I will be coming back to this ROM often as my daily user. If you have any thoughts about this incredible Pixel Experience Plus ROM, you can leave your comments down below. Yes, I do read all the comments and I'll be replying them as well. So, take care and see you in the next one.